Okay, let's try this again. Starting on this wall, obviously we've got this flipped around. Uh, door, customer supplied glass. I have in my notes the beam above this cabinet is, I think, 85.5 off the floor. That cabinet's 36 inches off the floor. The cabinet itself is 84.5 or 48.5 tall. So to the top of this, it's 84.5, 1 inch below. The crown molding has a drop of 1 3/8 inches. So the crown molding will cover up a 1/2 inch, 3/8 of the cabinet, and the top of it would hit the beam. Assuming you're just putting a 2 cm thick countertop on here. And one thing I want to clarify is the measurements I made of your space in comparison to some of the changes and lineouts that you're making. So if you want to write this down so we can both be on the same page. So my wall width, well, let's see here. This cabinet's 87 5/8, and it's 36 inches off the wall because this is a separate cabinet. So from the corner to that point is 123 5/8. This thing is 10 inches deep. I see a change right here. 10 inches deep. So 123 5/8. From that point to the sink wall. This cabinet is 10 inches deep, 26.5 wide. Because there's a jet or a drop back in the wall that goes into, the wall ends right about here. So that's why this cabinet's 26.5. So it extends 2.5 inches beyond the back of these cabinets, which are 24 inches deep. And again, 10 inches deep. So I want to make sure that we're on the same page there. The bookcase cabinet shown where is it? Let's look at it this way. I don't know why it's not showing, but 10 inches deep, 26.5 wide. This one here, 10 inches deep, 23.5 inches wide. On your window wall, well, let me clarify one more thing on this. So I've got 135.5. That's from the corner to this opening or where that beam is. The beam on the corner. But I think this is the critical point from the left side of that cabinet to the corner, 123 5/8 plus 10 inches. This cabinet's 10 inches deep, plus 10. So the front of that cabinet, 133, from the front of this one, 133 5/8. The sink wall, this cabinet, 46 inches tall, 36 inches off the ground. I know there's no beam here, but this is 46 tall. This one's 48.5. Different heights, but I know we've got some complexity going on with the ceiling. Your dishwasher and a filler in between here, the panel, false drawer, and top rail in between the drawer panel and the door. Toe kick register, range wall, the left side of your 40-inch range is 60 inches off the corner, 40 inches wide. This cabinet is from the left side, from the corner to the left side of that cabinet, 100 inches, plus the width of the cabinet. The right side of this cabinet to the corner, 123.5, plus 10 inches. So from the face of this bookshelf is 133.5. Some conflicting info on this. You wanted 8-inch tall corbels underneath, 12 inches above the countertop. So if we do 36 plus 12 and 8, so 20. So the bottom of this cabinet needs to be at 56, which is shown here. On your last notes, you had this crossed out, and I think 30 inches, 32 put in here, because we're going to do crown molding on the top of this. So if you want to confirm this, that it'll work, because that cabinet's 20 wide. That crown molding is going to add 1 3/8 inches on the left and right. And as far as this red line represents the tile, the existing tile cut out in the floor. I've got that about 21 inches out. That's 97 inches from that corner of the front of the bookcase. From here to here is 97.5. And from that point to the wall, add another 35 and 13/16. This cabinet, looking at it in plan view, 21 inches. That'll be trimmed off because you have the rock that comes out right here. So we have this somewhat straightened out, or the layout given, so you can compare, so we make sure we're on the same page here. This cabinet, these are 24 deep, this one's 23.5. I know we have another beam there, but just giving us a little bit of wiggle room for that right side against the beam there. In that, I believe that beam stepped out a little bit. That's why we're short. Or that's why it's a 1/2 inch off the wall. The fridge wall, again, 141. $141 inches. You were talking about 2 inches less. And this cabinet is outset 2 3/8 because of that step out there. The projection of that beam that comes out. So this cabinet, let's see, is 36 from the side of this cabinet to this wall. We have 36 plus 17. So the right side of this cabinet will be 53 inches off of this wall. The depth of this, 23 7/8. We're going to have a seam right here, so that rail opens up with these doors, because if this rail completely came out and we had a seam here, the crown molding will be about 3/8 down from the top. So a seam right here. The crown molding, if we chamfer it, and I think we should add a little bit of height to these cabinets, because if that crown molding is only 1 3/8 inches tall, add about a 1/2 inch to these cabinets and start the chamfer 1 inch below the crown molding, and it runs to the top of the bun. A bun here and here, not one in the center. I don't think that would look right. The register, notes made for this. Freezer behind these two doors. I know you wanted a toe kick, and that's just going to have to be fastened to the front of your appliances, which I believe is doable because they make an aftermarket stainless steel toe kick skin that you can put on there. Or you just take that wood front and attach it to the inside of these legs here. Again, these red lines represent the existing tile cutout. I've got this one 20 1/8 coming out. This one here is 133, but it's off the wall. So if that were extended to here, so 135 3/16 from that wall over, and that bookcase would land right on the front to drop into it. 20 1/8. What I don't have, the width of this opening for the existing tile floor, I think is 66 1/8. Yep. But there was a shelf or something in the way here. I don't have the width here. I know this tile started 21 1/4 off the wall, but I don't have the width. But if that fridge cabinet's 33 1/8 times 2 is 66 3/4, the cabinets are 5/8 wider than the opening in the floor. We could just notch the tile to drop it in there. I had the tile 25 inches, 25 1/2 inches from here to the front, but with these, there's no toe kick on these cabinets. So that cabinet's 25 1/2, but it's offset 3 1/2. So 29 1/2. So we could just sit this on the tile. And if we set it on the tile, this would add up. Maybe that's why I did that. It would add maybe another 1/2 inch. So we wouldn't have to increase the height of this, because I don't think it's going to be worth trying to cut out that tile floor. This would just sit straight on top and then the bun foot underneath there. But again, I don't have the width of the tile right here. I just have the depth of this at 21 1/4. This is 66 1/8. This was 25 1/4, and then the 45 tile was 19 1/2. Don't have this width. 66 1/8. Came over 25 1/4. That was 19 1/4, and then this one was 16 1/4 this way. I don't have that depth. But confirm these measurements with compared to your space to make sure that this is going to fit how you want it. It's just a very challenging room to measure with the beams on the walls and in the ceiling. Okay. Yeah, let me know so we can get moving on this. Thanks.